They can't be given as gifts or treasured for a lifetime. I mean, these things are obviously important, and if you work in our business, they cannot and should not be ignored. But here, I think, tonight is evidence of why they will not kill off the proper physical book, beautifully produced and beautifully written. Dante in Love is the product of a lifetime's thought and study and, dare I say it, obsession. It wonderfully combines its author's rare, very rare talents as a biographer and novelist, historian and scholar. That he understands the creative process is apparent on every page that Andrew's written in this book. It's our first Atlantic Books publication with him, and we are thrilled to be the publishers of both his fiction and his non-fiction in the future. It's a perfect first book in many ways for us to begin with, because it does so beautifully blend, alchemically if you like, his rare genius for stories and history and ideas. We're delighted to be launching it with you here tonight. It's also, by the way, a fine opportunity to secure a signed copy from the author, and perhaps even some early Christmas gifts. Anyway, all that remains is for me to thank you again for coming, to thank Andrew for this wonderful and magnificent book, and to ask you to raise your glass to Andrew Wilson.
It's Andrew. Sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. But I don't want to bore you. I won't be thanking everybody from the psychoanalyst to the cleaning lady, but I do want to repeat Toby's thanks to Rebecca and Matthew for giving us this party. It was incredibly generous of them, and it is lovely, their gallery, and we all love it and adore them. Nobody adores them more than I do. And I'd just like to thank them very, very warmly. The book wouldn't really be here were it not for my wonderful agent, George Capel, who did tremendous things with it and directed me, I'm glad to say, towards Toby and Atlantic Books. And I'd just like to thank everybody at Atlantic Books for working so hard and so imaginatively on my behalf, particularly Karen Duffy and Karina for organising all the publicity in this party. Orlando Whitfield, who was, when I first got to know him, was a child in my next door house in Regent's Park Terrace up above. So that I never quite know when I respond to this distinguished bearded sage whether he's asking me for some learned return of a proof or whether he wants his football back from Ruben John. Probably a little bit of both. But anyway, I'm deeply grateful to him. And most of all, if I may single somebody out, I'm grateful to Margaret Stead, who is the most sublime editor and saw The Slave in the Marble. It was a tremendous muddle when this book landed on her desk, and she made the book, really. So I'd like you to toast everybody, but particularly Margaret Stead. Thank you very much. Cheers.